Imagine waking up in California and checking your phone. 37 separate wildfires, all burning at the same time. Los Angeles is surrounded. San Diego is evacuating. San Francisco's air quality index just hit hazardous. The smoke is so thick that satellites can see it from space. A brown cloud covering half the state. Fire crews are overwhelmed. Resources stretched to the breaking point. And then you hear the worst news. The winds are picking up. All those separate fires, they're about to merge into one massive firestorm. A wall of flame stretching from the coast to the Sierra Nevada mountains. This isn't a disaster movie. This is a real scenario that fire scientists say California is heading toward. They call it the Big Burn. And when it happens, it won't just devastate California, it will change America forever. Now, before you think this is just fear-mongering, here's why this matters more than any wildfire you've seen on the news. This isn't about one town burning, one forest lost. This is about multiple massive fires creating conditions we've never dealt with before. Right now, California experiences fire season every year, but it's getting worse, longer, hotter, more destructive. In 2020, over 4 million acres burned. That's more than 4% of the entire state. In 2018, the Camp Fire destroyed Paradise, California in 4 hours. 85 people died, but those were individual fires. The Big Burn scenario is different. It's what happens when climate change, drought, dead forests, and extreme weather all collide at once. When 10 or 20 major fires are burning simultaneously, and fire crews can't stop any of them because they don't have enough resources. This is about understanding that California isn't just dealing with bigger fires. It's approaching a tipping point where fire becomes uncontrollable, where entire regions burn at once. And when that happens, millions of people will be displaced. The economic damage will be in the hundreds of billions. And the question everyone will be asking is, can California even recover? Let's start with why this scenario is becoming inevitable. First, there's fuel. California has 163 million dead trees. Let me put that in perspective for you. That's enough dead wood to stretch from Los Angeles to New York and back 50 times. These trees died from drought, bark beetle infestations, and disease. And they're not rotting away peacefully. They're standing there, bone dry, waiting to burn. Forest ecologists call them widowmakers. One spark and they explode into flame. Now spread 163 million of those across California's forests, and you've created the world's largest tinderbox. Second, there's climate. California's summers are getting hotter. Droughts are lasting longer. The rainy season is shorter. Vegetation that used to stay moist year-round is now drying out. Grasslands that were green in May are brown by June. And humidity. In some areas during fire season, it drops below 5%. That's drier than deserts. At that humidity level, everything is flammable. Your lawn, your wooden fence, the leaves in your gutter. Everything. Third, there's wind. California has something called the Santa Ana winds. Hot, dry winds that blow from the inland deserts toward the coast at speeds up to 70 miles per hour. When these winds hit during fire season, they turn small fires into infernos. They blow embers miles ahead of the main fire, starting new fires faster than crews can contain them. In 2017, the Tubbs Fire in Northern California moved so fast, driven by these winds, that people had minutes to evacuate. Some didn't make it. The fire jumped highways, crossed rivers, nothing stopped it. Now imagine 20 fires like that burning at once, all driven by the same wind event. That's the Big Burn scenario. But here's the question nobody wants to ask. If the Big Burn happens, if California faces multiple megafires burning simultaneously, can we even fight it? The answer should terrify you. California has about 11,000 firefighters during peak fire season. Sounds like a lot, until you realize the state is 164,000 square miles. That's one firefighter for every 15 square miles. When a single major fire breaks out, like the Dixie Fire in 2021, it can require over 5,000 firefighters. That's almost half the state's resources on one fire. Now imagine 5 major fires burning at once. 10, 20. The math doesn't work. There aren't enough crews, not enough aircraft, not enough fire retardant, not enough water. Resources that normally get shared between fires can't be shared anymore because everything's burning. Fire crews from other states, from Canada, from Australia, they all send help during California's fire season. But they can only send so much, and if the big burn happens during a year when other states are also burning, which is increasingly common, California will be on its own. And here's what makes this even more dangerous. Modern wildfires don't behave like historical fires. They create their own weather. When a fire gets big enough, hot enough, it generates massive updrafts. Hot air rises so fast it creates pyrocumulus clouds, thunderstorms made of fire. These fire clouds can reach 40,000 feet. They generate lightning that starts new fires. They create erratic winds that change direction without warning, trapping firefighters. In 2018, a fire tornado with winds over 140 miles per hour formed during the Carr Fire near Redding, California. It was as powerful as an EF3 tornado, except it was made of fire. It killed a firefighter, vaporized homes, left a path of destruction that looked like a bomb had gone off. Now imagine multiple fires creating multiple fire tornadoes across California. How do you fight that? The honest answer is, you don't. You evacuate and let it burn. Let me put the scale of the big burn in perspective for you. If California experienced a multi-front firestorm that burned even 10% of the state simultaneously, that's 16 million acres. For comparison, the largest wildfire in recorded U.S. history was the Great Fire of 1910, which burned 3 million acres across Montana, Idaho, and Washington. What California is facing could be 5 times larger. The smoke plume would cover the entire western United States. Air quality from Seattle to Denver would be hazardous. Airlines would cancel flights. Respiratory hospitals would overflow. And the economic impact? California's economy is $3.9 trillion. It's the 5th largest economy in the world, larger than India, larger than the United Kingdom. If the big burn destroys major population centers, agriculture regions, tech infrastructure, you're not just talking about California's economy collapsing. You're talking about a shock to the entire U.S. economy. Housing prices nationwide would spike as millions of climate refugees flee California. Insurance companies would go bankrupt, and the federal government would need to spend hundreds of billions on disaster relief and rebuilding. If that makes you realize that California's fire crisis isn't just a California problem, that it's a preview of climate disasters that will affect all of us, hit that like button. Because this isn't about pointing fingers or assigning blame. This is about understanding that we're entering an era where natural disasters don't stay local. They cascade, and the big burn would be the first domino. Now here's the part that really keeps fire scientists up at night. We know the big burn is coming. We just don't know when. It could happen this year, next year, 5 years from now, but the conditions are aligning. Every drought makes it more likely. Every heat wave increases the odds. Every windstorm during fire season rolls the dice. And here's the terrifying part. Once it starts, once multiple fires merge into a regional firestorm, there's no putting it out. Fire crews don't fight fires that big. They evacuate ahead of them and let them burn until they run out of fuel or hit a natural fire break. The only thing that stops a fire that size is weather. Rain, snow, a shift in wind. You're not fighting it. You're praying it stops on its own. But here's what's even crazier. California has experienced something like this before. In 1910, the same year as the Great Fire in Montana, California had its own massive fire season. But back then, the state's population was 2.4 million. Now it's 39 million. Back then, most people lived in cities. Now millions live in the wildland-urban interface, the areas where homes meet forests. Communities like Paradise, like Malibu, like South Lake Tahoe, all built in fire-prone areas. So when the big burn happens, it won't just be forest burning. It will be neighborhoods, schools, hospitals, entire towns. And with millions of people living in harm's way, evacuation won't be orderly. It will be chaos. Highways jammed, resources overwhelmed, people trapped. So what does this mean for California, for America? It means we're facing a choice. Invest now in prevention, controlled burns, forest management, infrastructure, or pay catastrophically later. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Prevention is expensive. Controlled burns are slow. Forest management takes decades. And politically, it's hard to justify spending billions on a disaster that hasn't happened yet. So we wait. We watch the conditions worsen. We see the warning signs. And we hope it doesn't happen on our watch. But hope isn't a strategy, and nature doesn't care about our politics or our budgets. For now, just remember this. California isn't burning because of bad luck. It's burning because we built millions of homes in fire ecosystems, suppressed natural fires for a century, and changed the climate in ways that make fire seasons longer, hotter, and more destructive. The big burn isn't a question of if, it's a question of when. And when it happens, it will force America to confront something we've been avoiding. That climate change isn't a future problem. It's here. It's burning, and it's just getting started. The fires we're seeing now, they're not the crisis. They're the warning. And if we don't listen, the big burn will make sure we never forget.